Evening. It's so good to be here again, and I'm excited. We're doing this again. Last month we had a webinar with Goodness Adebayo on personal branding in tech, and today I'm excited to be hosting another episode of our webinar. If you're excited, can you use your favorite emoji? If you're watching from anywhere in the world, just tell me where you're watching from and use your favorite emoji. I'm looking forward to today's webinar with myself, Dami, and Chidinma. So if you are yet to tell your friends, please share the link with your friends. Let everybody, let's come to learn together. I'm really looking for a great time today. And also after this, looking forward to testimonies that I will get from this webinar, right? We don't just want to attend that boot camp or do that learning and all that, but we want to also get hired. And it starts from you working on your portfolio. So I'm excited really to what Dami and Chidima has in stock for us. So if you can hear me, just please tell me where you're listening from, your location, whether in Lagos or whatever country you are. So I'm looking forward. Yes, I can see you. Thank you for joining Creative. Elizabeth, yeah, Elizabeth from Abuja. It's good to have you here. Really, really. Thank you for joining. I hope you already have your expectations for today. Hi. Hi, King. Oh, from Ogun State. It's great having you. It's really great. Let's have more people join. Hi. Hi, Amalu. Good to have you here. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, so let's just wait for like 2 minutes, then we can start. Then both Dami and Chidima, they are ready, and I'm looking forward to it. They're ready for us. So let me as you join. Hey, hi, Poluke. Nice to meet you, and nice to have you on this call. So for those that I remember that we created a form for this. So for those that imputed their portfolio, so myself and Dami would be and Chidima will be reviewing like a critique, then we'll give you like feedback. So I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. Like, hi Dami, nice to have you here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, good to have you here. So how was your day?
It was a very hectic day. I'm currently being at the current cafe I'm in. I don't know if you guys can see my background, but there are children running around. So I think that's fun. But it's been a good day. It's been a very, very fun day. How's your day been?
Yeah, my day has been like I said earlier. I got in like not quite too long because I had to go out and do some run some errands and also do. I had like a meeting and all that. So what I'm excited. I'm here. Anyways,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to a great time with you
Yeah.
and Chidinma as well. Yeah, I know
So
it's going to be worth
excited.
it. Yeah, it's going to be worth it. So let me just get started, and then I will do like a little icebreaker with the other
The
students
pressure
here.
is on.
Yeah. Hi Chidima, how are you today? Good to have you. Yeah.
Hi, Fola. Good evening. I'm doing
Hi.
well. Hi,
Good to
Dami.
have you. Yeah. Okay, so let me get started. So hello everyone, welcome to the Portfolio Power Up build, showcase, you build, then you showcase, then you get hired. That's like the end goal. But just the beginning. The beginning is for you to build, then showcase it. Because if you build and you don't actually show or apply to jobs with it, there's no point. So there's the first stage is to build, the second stage is to showcase or apply for that job, and definitely the end result is to get hired, and that's why we're here. So my name is Fola Adiola Debute, your host for today. I'm a senior product designer, a mentor, and I'm also passionate about advocating for designers. I help build the career they love, and it's exciting to have all of you here that are willing to invest in your growth. They are willing to invest in your future, right? So before we dive in, I want to take a moment to acknowledge every one of you, those joining from Lagos, Abuja, Ogun State, wherever you are, then also most especially our guests, Dami and Chidima. So whether you're just starting out or you want to redesign your portfolio, whatever thing you want to do, this session is designed to actually equip you with the right knowledge and also the confidence to help you to take your portfolio to the next level. So let me quickly do like an overview of today's webinar. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to at the end of this webinar is to I want people to be understand what makes a strong portfolio design what makes a strong product design portfolio. So that's one. Another thing I'm looking to learn from this whole thing, or I'm hoping to get that at the end of this session, is to learn how to structure and present your case study effectively. Then also another thing that you're going to learn basically from this webinar is to gain insight from Dami, myself, and Chidima on how hiring managers look at your portfolio, how you should present your portfolio, and all that. Then another thing that you are going to learn at the end of this session is to get a chance for those that actually posted. So I think Dami and Chidima, most people that registered are people that maybe some of them don't know how to even get started at all in this whole thing. I got feedback like some people are in the stage where they don't even know how to get started. They don't even know what to do. They don't have an idea. They are clueless on what to do, how to start. Then I think majority are on that part. They don't know how to get started and all that. But today I'm happy that Dami and Chidima is here to actually help us. So Dami, Dami or Ojetunji, I'm going to be reading our portfolio shortly. Sorry, a second, please. That's 1 second already. Okay, I have it somewhere. So if you are just joining, please, I would like to know where you are joining from. So in case you're wondering what people are putting on the chat, I'm so sorry. I have. Let me see. Okay, I think I explained it. So I'm going to read briefly about Dami. So while we continue, Chidema, if we have duplicated Riverside studio, you have to delete. I got a notification. You have to just be on one. You can't have multiple. All right. So her name is Dami Lola Oluwa Dami Lola Ojetunji, and she's a product designer with over 5 years of experience in user experience, in design system, and product strategy. She has led design at startups, including YC funded and growth stage companies, shaping product direction through research and intentional design. She founded Tabs. So in case you don't know what Tabs is, please go to tabs, jointabs.com. Join tabs.com. You get inspiration for your design work and all that. So you please go there, jointabs.com. And if you also want to volunteer as well, yes, there's room to volunteer anyways. So Join Tabs is a platform that creates African digital products to simplify design and market research. As a mentor, she helps designers launch careers, start out in a competitive industry, and build strong fundamentals. Dami has hosted industry meetups. She's a solid girl, lady. Sorry, girl is too small. Lady is solid. Dami has hosted industry meetups, spoken at events, and is committed to equipping designers with skills to succeed. Outside work, she enjoys home, house music, art, and traveling. Dami, you did not put that you are also a strong member of Design Chicks. That's why I first met you.
Oh my God. Honestly, yeah, that's where we
It
met.
was
That's where we met.
the way I met Dami. Dami was our hidden treasure that day at on title design last year. Like they told us to actually look for Dami to get a gift, and I saw Dami like I was like I thought she like I don't remember what I said exactly. I was
She
like I
kidnapped
held her and she
me.
was shocked like she had. But really, thank you Timmy for joining. Bukola as well. Thank you so much. Thank you Laminiko. Thank you Bolale. I hope you guys are going to have an amazing time. So now let's go to the amazing and beautiful. It's not like damn you are beautiful, please, so that you know I didn't call you beautiful. The amazing and beautiful Chidima. I met Chidima at Chico Africa. So funny enough, we've been working indirectly together, but we got to meet last year. Then we're now is it roommate or call her or flat roommates? We're actually roommates at because we launched the she code organizing team, planning team. So we launched together. Then we, they happened to put us together. Oh my god, that night before we slept, we're just gisting and gisting and gisting. Like we're catching up. I think we've been like we've known each other for a very long time. So I just one of the things I just know about Chidima is that she's solid and she's sweet. See, look at Chidima. Dami is blowing, throwing this thing for you. Is it glitter? So what do I call it? So I'm going to read Chidima's bio shortly.
I love it.
Okay, so Chidima,
Thank you, Dami.
Chidima is her name is Chidima Christabel. Oh my god, I don't want to pronounce this name wrongly. Chidima, pardon me. I'm going to pronounce your last name, but pardon me, forgive me ahead in advance. So Chidima Ukaegbu. Oh my god, it.
You
I got
you
it,
got
yeah.
it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, thumbs up for me. So Chidima is a product designer specialized in crafting user-centered solutions. Through design, she helps businesses produce more compelling products for their prospective and current customers. She specializes in using design to make the ordinary everyday experience a little more delightful and accelerate workflows for organizations and businesses. She currently works at mycover.ia, an insurance tech company aimed at revolutionizing the way African utilizes and experience insurance by enabling innovators to seamlessly embed insurance into their current offerings or launch new insurance verticals. She's constantly looking for the latest adoptable trends in tech and design. Chidima, I think you should volunteer for join tabs. You're going to I know you love making impact.
I
Dami, drag
will. I was
Chidima. She
going to
loves
reach
making
out to
impact.
Dami. I said, hey,
Drag her.
Dami, I need to
Join
do
tabs.
this with
Please
you.
drag her. So when she's
Can you
not working,
see? Can you guys see my fireworks
yeah,
and
I
my
can see it.
confetti?
I don't know
Show
how
it.
to do the fireworks thing. I'm going to actually do it for you
Oh my god. While she's not working, she's reading, she's
too.
writing, she's watching reality TV or resting. Wow. Good to have you, Chidima and Dami, once again.
Thank you.
So, because of our time, let's dive into today's session, right? I would have loved us to do like an icebreaker, but I think we should just go into it so that people will get value for their time, right? So, Dami will be going first, and she will be talking about Dami will be talking about crafting a job win portfolio, and she's going to our focus will be on key components of a strong product design portfolio, how to structure your case study for maximum impact, common mistake designer make, and how to avoid them, and lots more. So, Dami, over to you to do your magic. Ooh, I'm even looking for that. Oh, this is like you're throwing. I can't find it on my screen. Like I'm suppose this is like the point where
No, you guys having FOMO. It's a MacBook thing. Sorry.
okay, I'm using MacBook.
So,
Oh,
like, when you
Chidinma
look
is
to
using MacBook
your,
too. Thank God we
when
are
you look
both
to
using
your, I'm
MacBook.
explaining now. I'm
Okay,
explaining now. Let me land.
okay, I'm listening.
When you look to your right,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see the camera thing by the right.
Okay.
Click on the camera, you see reactions. Yeah, click any reaction. There's a thumbs up. There is a, I hope you guys cannot hear the child screaming. But yeah, there's a thumbs up. There are confetti. Yeah, I'm about to play around with it. I
How come I do not see me? I do not see
exactly now
anything.
we're there. We're there together.
Okay.
You will see it. You'll see it, babe. Just relax.
No, Allah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I had to do like this quick tutorial, but I hope you guys can see my screen now.
Yes, I can.
Let me look. We're celebrating because we've tried this a couple of times before we got we got on. But yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing. Then I would share the actual presentation so you guys don't see my notes because I need to remember. Uh, give me a second. Oh my Christ, Jesus! There's a child screaming. Can you guys hear the child screaming? You can't. Okay. Hi guys. So can you see the screen? It's coming up. Are we good?
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. I lost.
You are muted, Dami.
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay, awesome, awesome. So, hi everyone. I am so excited to, I think, talk about one of my favorite topics. I like talking about portfolio because in the course of my career, I have, interviewed people, especially as a team lead and currently a startup founder. I have, reviewed portfolios for designers, for engineers, for so many people. And I had like a front seat view. I felt like I had like one of portfolios and has given me one of my favorite jobs now. I have currently working for. So like it was using like my same portfolio, this same tips I've managed to gather in my career, coming up. But yeah, I hope this is as impactful as I hope it will be. But yeah, I don't know if I need to introduce myself, but I mean I have it in my slides, so let's do it. We're going to quickly touch on a few topics. We're going to touch on the reality, case study structure, common mistakes, how to stand out, some examples or how to find examples. Quick fix you could do like in your current portfolio, and like my final give back. But yeah, Fola has introduced me, but I'll just do a little tidbit. But yeah, my name is Dami. I am so happy to be here, and we're going to be talking about this. I'm not going to do the whole intro, uh, so let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let's go to the reality, right? So everyone knows, everyone knows the job market is tough, right? Trying to stand out. Everyone and their mom is a designer. It's so hard to, try to convince people that, okay, I know what I'm doing. Um, there's a certain number of designers looking for work, which is higher than the available jobs, Most companies have cut back on hiring. Job postings have like hundreds of applications in like a few hours, a few minutes, a few days. And this means like your portfolio is like one of the first things that, gives you like a standing chance, right? A well-structured portfolio can move you from, being in the whole stack of A to like standing out to moving to the next stage of the interview, getting like your recruiter's call or helping you stand out past the recruiter's call to talking to like the design lead and whatever, steps, in the company you're applying for. So let's talk about what makes a portfolio unique. What exactly would get you past, that haystack? So one of the first things I do, I will always use myself as example. So again, I have managed to. I'm gonna do a quick check-in. I hope you guys can hear me and can see the screen. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So I'm gonna touch on what recruiters look for, what hiring managers look for, depending on the size of the company, what a design lead will look for. So one of the first things I feel like it's a no-brainer would be like a clear and structured case study. When recruiters, whoever opens your portfolio, they really do not have time to scan, your long paragraphs, your detailed portfolio, your sketches, your brainstorming. And I feel like it's a bit tricky, right? So it's tricky because sometimes you want to explain the thinking. So when you're applying for product design roles or when you're applying for UX design roles, you might want to start thinking about, your sketches, your research and things like that. But when you're trying to get your foot in the door, when you have like your recruiters checking out your portfolio, how exactly do you catch your attention? And I've kind of found their attention, and I've kind of found out that they really like very concise portfolio, right? Very clear portfolio, bold visuals. That's kind of the first thing I would say, like a recruiter is looking for in your portfolio. Um, I hope you guys can see the screen. Okay, great. So strong design process, right? So again, it's like your decision making. One of the things I've happened to do in my career is speak to recruiters that are very familiar with the design process. Sorry, are very familiar with the design process. So they want to see how did you establish this problem? Why did you think it was a problem? How did you solve the problem? How do you verify that the problem worked? And in those cases, that's when you need to impute your design processes, right? So it's not just like your visuals, but like your decision making. Another thing people like to see is like the business impact and the user impact. The other week, I was doing like a whole rant on Twitter. And that's partly because I joined a Twitter space. Oh my God, I would never call Twitter X, by the way. But yeah, I joined a Twitter space and they were talking about um, how you were designing for the users, you're doing this for the users, you're doing that for the users. But one thing that's made me stand out in interviews or made people I know stand out in interviews are, talking about like how does this thing impact the business? How does this thing impact the team? How does my design decision impact the users? And I think those are very little things you could add to your portfolio that would make you stand out, right? So you could highlight things like introducing a design system kind of sped up my output, my design process, or introducing this made me do this and do that and do that, right? And I know like most people are beginners at this point, but at this point, I would say imagine, right? Imagine if you were to And I think that's one of the things we're gifted with. It's like the gift of imagination. So imagine, okay, if you have like a conceptual project, right? How would you measure that impact? So currently, if you go to my portfolio, I don't know if I still have it up. I've not opened my portfolio this year at all. But if I still have it up, I have um, a conceptual project, and that conceptual project never got built, right? But I managed to pitch that project some places couple of years after the line. But in the heat of things, I was talking about how okay, I designed this app because I felt like people didn't have like budgets, right? And if I introduce this app, they would use it to manage their budgets. They'll get notifications. They would save with their friends or save towards a certain goal, right? And in my case study, I realized by the time I was writing my case study, Piggyvest had like a group saving feature. I've forgotten what they call it now. Um, but they had a group saving feature. But I referenced that in my case study, and I was talking about even though this case study was a conceptual project, this real life products, saw the need for that, and that kind of made me stand out as somebody that's thinking about, the market, not just the market, the business as well. So those little things are things that I feel like recruiters are looking for. And the last thing would be like the presentation, right? More often than not, I see presentations or portfolios that don't necessarily open on my phone. And it depends on the day and the time and whatever job you're applying for. But in reality, most recruiters would open on their laptops. But in rare times, people will open it on their phones or they'll send it to somebody that will open on their phone, whatever. So it's usually very good. And it also shows like your skills, like your understanding for scalability, right? So moving things from like the web to moving it to mobile, to thinking about tablets, to thinking about vertical screens, to thinking about Vision Pro, because apparently everyone is thinking about Vision Pro. To thinking about a lot more things, right? So having like a polished presentation, make sure it's hannibal, and make sure it's scalable, and make sure it's mobile friendly. I think those are the things that would really make a successful portfolio that would move you on to the next level or the next stage. All right. So we've talked about like what makes a portfolio. I think the main gist is what exactly do you put in the case study, right? And those are the things that I feel like can lengthen a case study more than necessary or more than needed. When I first started, I kind of assumed like your case study is going to start with iterations, oh sorry, brainstorming, sketches, wireframes, high fidelity, prototype, then yeah, ship, like the vertical design process. But in reality, you would notice that projects don't necessarily go that way. I don't think I've ever had a project that went from sketching to this and that and that into the market. There are certain projects that I've had to tweak based on, client budgets, based on market needs, based on user research, based on competitive analysis or whatever. Don't let me bore you guys with that. But understanding these things are what would make you again stand out in the market. Like Fola just said, it's like the entire work, putting in the entire work to get a job, right? And understanding the market will really help you get a job. So, what exactly do you add in your case studies? So, one of the first things would be like your overview. So, your overview page is so important, right? So, your role, what did you do? What was the timelines? What did you use, right? So, sorry guys. I just got a notification from Figma. Sorry. So yeah, what did you do? What time did it take? What did you use? And in the case where it was a conceptual project, so again, what do you do is still valid. The timeline is still valid, and the tools, what did you use? Again, like I said before, make your case studies straight to the point. skimmable. The shorter, the better. I think now I feel like my latest portfolio is still very long. I keep looking at portfolios and looking at samples, and I see that people just add like pictures and that's it. I'm like, okay, why? But yeah, I feel like for case studies, the shorter the better. You really need to focus on impact. Now, one of the things people will tell you is impact. Share the data, show your numbers, share your metrics, show this, show that. But in the case where you're a beginner and you don't show your metrics or you don't have metrics, or you're an established designer and your company does not reveal the metrics, I feel like in that point or at that stage, you could, I won't say forge. I don't like using the word I don't like using the word fudge, but you could presume, right? So current projects, I think in the last 3 years, I've worked for companies with very strict NDAs, so I can't release metrics for nobody. Like I can't release it to recruiters or one-on-one calls. I can't release it to family and friends. That's how strict they were. But in those cases, you would want to do like assumed metrics. Right. It's like I said earlier, like my design system made or sped up the time, or I shortened onboarding time by reducing the amount of screens, or I did this. In that case, you're not giving like actual 34% reduce something, something, something. And also, I mean, controversial opinion, I feel like those metrics are not exactly true because you never quite know the number. But in those cases, you can assume, right? And it's also good to like um to highlight that these are just assumptions, right? These are not assumed metrics, assumed metrics. But yeah, that's really about it for impact and metrics. And if your company is generous to share, sorry guys, if your company is generous to share their numbers, share their metrics, share Hotjar with you, lucky you. But if they're not, or if you don't have any, if you're a beginner, you don't have any at all, you can assume those metrics, right? Or you do an internal team metrics. That's a different story for another day. So yeah, last thing would be like focus on clarity and your learnings, right? So in cases where you have like assumed case studies or proposed case studies, conceptual case studies, you would highlight your learnings. I learned this and that. This and that is what I learned, right? In this case study, I didn't realize this was this and this. You know, those things kind of show you as a very keen person willing to learn, willing to establish themselves, willing to grow as designers, right? And yeah, I think I think that's pretty much what has worked for me, and I hope it would work for everyone here. So, yeah, how to stand out. Again, like I said, you focus on your strengths, right? Focus on your things you can do, things you think you can do, uh, also things you assume you can do, right? You could also focus on things like problem statements, right? What needs to be fixed? How do you know those things need to be fixed? How do you verify those things has been fixed? It's very tricky. I think that's kind of why we call ourselves product designers because we're not really focusing on like the UI and what color we choose and what shape and what layout. We're really thinking about things in the back, right? We're thinking about the business. We're thinking about the market. We're solving for the users. Those are cases where you start highlighting problem statements. And in cases where you're a newbie designer and you're, brainstorming this app that you just came up with and you want to do it, start assuming or put yourself in a place where, okay, I'm here, I'm the beginner designer, and somebody just hired me to solve this problem. How do I, highlight those problems? How do I solve those problems? And I think product designers are the best writers because you're really like writing your own biography, right? You're estimating things that you've already fixed. You're estimating things that you think you can fix. You're estimating things you've solved and the results you've gotten from those things you fixed, right? So yeah, those are like the problem statement. your process and research. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of things, but by the time you itemize them and you make them very concise, your portfolio is very rich. It's not just a full screen of text with like irrelevant information. Like I remember the other day I was seeing like a SWOT analysis, and sadly I saw it from a beginner designer, and I was asking them like, what exactly is a SWOT analysis? What exactly? How do you find out their strengths and weaknesses? Were you just looking at it? How did you? So when it comes to those cases, you want to just focus on things that really matter. And I feel like those are the things I've listed here: your problem statement, your research, your process, the solution, what you learned, right? And those are the things that will really make you get to the next stage. For examples, I don't know why my um, images aren't sharing, but I would, I don't know if I want to share that particular screen. But yeah, personally, I use a platform called Folio. Folio is a landing page. It's owned by my friend. Not to hype it too much. It's owned by my friend, but it has a list of portfolios. I was going to show you guys examples of portfolios I kind of referenced throughout my life, literally till now. And currently, I'm trying to redo my portfolio. So even till now, I am, referencing Folio. So you can go on Folio. You see portfolios from designers that, work at Apple, work at Google, do incredible things, and you can reference them. You can look at their case studies, you can read their case studies. So yeah, those are things I would definitely recommend. But yeah, I feel like we overcomplicate the portfolio system and the case study system a little bit too much. I think one of the things that really works is like standing out, right? And it's so easy to stand out. It's just being yourself, right from the layout of your portfolio, your about page, being yourself at your about page, being yourself on your homepage, down to the colors you've chosen on the portfolio. I mean, I had somebody the other day asking me, why was your portfolio green? And why not? That's me. That's me. I don't want to conform, right? And yeah, so it's very, very simple, right? Be yourself, be as simple as possible. Don't assume things. Don't think, okay, I need to add this and add that and add this because I saw it here. Does it relate to you? Does it tell whatever you story you have? I think those are the things we need to consider. And yeah, I hope it goes well.
Hi, Dami. Thank you so much. And
All right.
to everybody that's watching, I want you to drop your questions for Dami. And if you have questions, we could take that before Chidima. If not, we'll wait till after Chidima's session. Then we'll take the questions together. So, Dami, you mentioned folio. So, can you like spell it? Because I tried to check. I'm not seeing anything so that I can, so everyone watching can check.
Yeah, so it's F. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I think I made a mistake. So it's Foleo, folio.
Okay, folio.
I don't know if it's folio.com. I don't know if it's
You can
folio.com or
just you can just
folio.design.
drop the link. So I'll share it with the newsletter that is going. Thank
Can
you.
do that. My and also another platform you could use would be Tabs. Let
Yes,
me let me hype my company.
indeed.
So Tabs, we're going to start highlighting things like case study, A and B testing very, very soon. So we're going to write, I mean, those are things I like to do. We're going to start writing things that we feel like these companies have considered. And those are things as a beginner designer you can read or reference to know what to add to your case study, right? So for example, Child Deck, the way Child Deck added the pin, when you want to collect your child deck order. Recently, very like think a couple of months ago, they added this pin that you tell your rider that, oh, this is my pin, or you've delivered your order, whatever. It took a while for them to get there. We're going to talk about the UX of it all, right? Of course, people were complaining that people were stealing their order. They were delivering to the wrong person. That's like the basic user reason. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like behind the scenes there was a UX reason. So
Yeah.
tabs will really help you to, read and understand from the back end. We've talked to the designers, we've talked to the product leads on these teams to ask them very important questions. What were you thinking about? Is it because they were stealing your order or something? Exactly were you thinking about? So yeah, tabs and folio would be like your go-to. Thank you. Let me type
Thank
it
you
on
so
the
much,
chat.
Dami. So if you have your question, please drop your questions. We're going to be taking questions. There's like a session for questions, right? So thank you so much, Dami, for your time. So you just let's have Chidima before we now have like the general question and answer, also the portfolio critic. Thank you. Hi, Chidima.
Hi guys. Oh my god. See, I feel like Davi has said everything I wanted to say. What's the point? Let's share the grace and go. But yeah, thank you so much, David. That was amazing, and I learned a lot. And yes, yes, I'm joining tabs. We'll talk at the back, here.
Yeah,
Thank you
right.
so much. All right, so let me just try and share my screen. Um, okay. Please, can you guys see my screen and can you hear me?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I
All right.
can. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, thank you guys. Honestly speaking, I feel like Dabi has said everything, right? I'll just try to add what I can really. So we're going to look at real quick like what recruiters look for in design portfolios. I have been privileged to be a part of recruitment process for a couple of product designers, even engineers self and product managers as well, but mostly designers, obviously. I've recruited myself and also, and this is something I've also learned. Again, this is also from like people I've learned from, and then my experience and all of that. So I'll just be sharing from there. Okay, so now the reason why I brought this here, to just start from the basics, is because again, I think Fola also mentioned it that there might also be some people here who um, might not even understand what a case study is, what a portfolio is, maybe beginner designers and who are just trying to find their way. So basically, a portfolio is a well chosen selection of your finest work that highlights your abilities, backgrounds, design methodologies. So when you say portfolio, it's not just speaking to product designers, brand identity designers have portfolios, graphic designers have portfolios, illustrators, even photographers have portfolios. Um, um, what do they call them? People who do landmarks and all of that, they all have portfolios, right? But in this case, we're looking at the product design portfolio. Now, a case study, which Dami even spoke on a lot of times when she was speaking, is basically a documentation of your project. So, a portfolio is now a collection of case studies, basically. Okay, so the first one is why your portfolio matters. So your portfolio is actually important because it's the first impression people see. And whether you like it or not, I know that obviously it's not a lot of times that when you meet somebody at first, your first impression and all of that is going to stick with you. But in life generally, first impression matters. So before they actually see you, especially when you're looking for a job, it's mostly your portfolio that they would see first. So recruiters spend about 10 seconds to 1 minute. I feel like even 1 minute is being generous with it because imagine a recruiter has 100 portfolios and resumes and cover letters to scan in a day, or not even in a full 24 hours, maybe like 4 hours or something, or 3 hours. So they are not going to spend the whole day looking at your portfolio. And I love the fact that Dami mentioned that, oh, it doesn't have to be like a lot and all of that. You can make it as short but precise as possible. So beautiful visuals alone won't just get you hired. People want to see your thinking process, especially if you're going for product design roles. If you're going for a graphic design role or an animator role or illustrator role or something, they probably might not care about seeing your process. But when you're looking for product design roles, they want to see your thinking process. How did you come about your solution? And that's why you're a product designer. All right. So some questions to ask yourself. So if you have a portfolio right now, we're still going to review some portfolios, but if you have a portfolio right now, you can just ask yourself this question. If someone saw your portfolio for 10 seconds, would they understand the kind of designer that you are? Would they understand the problems that you have solved, or the projects that you've worked on, the problems you've solved? Would they understand the impact of your work, that the impact your work has, basically? So these are questions that's important for you to think about. If you have a portfolio, go and review it, go and look back at it and say, will someone actually understand the kind of designer I am and the problems I've solved and the impact that my work has? Because recruiters are looking for impact. If someone is going to bring you into their company, they want to know that you have added value somewhere else. All right. So the next step is understanding the hiring process. Again, this is something which I have been privileged to be a part of. I have spearheaded, and then I have worked with people who have focused or been in depth on the hiring process as well. Okay. So I'm sure, obviously, if you're in the job pool at the moment, or but if you've ever been in the job pool, you've probably heard of ATS, or application tracking systems. So application tracking systems are basically bots that just help to filter out things. So again, imagine a company like Google or something put out an application. Who doesn't want to work for Google? I want to work for Google. So imagine a company like that puts out an application. um so obviously, because probably in the 1 hour or something that they put it out on LinkedIn, they're probably going to get like maybe 5,000 people or something that have applied. Even the recruiter, the human beings, even if there might be a lot, might not be able to look at all of those people. So they need to use an ATS back end to just help to filter out. So what it does is that it ensures that the relevant things that they are looking for in a designer. If this case study, I mean, if this portfolio, this resume, this cover letter, this LinkedIn profile doesn't have those things, they'll probably just filter you out. And then some ATS can also analyze your portfolios as well, not just your resume and cover letter. Okay, so with ATS, for to just try and pass through ATS and AI filtering, ensure that you use plain and readable text for your resumes. Um, Add industry specific keywords, and then ensure your portfolio is clickable and works on all browsers. And I like the fact that also Dami mentioned is also important for your portfolio to be mobile friendly as well. Yeah, we spend a lot of time on ensuring that it looks good on the web and all of that. But ideally, a recruiter might be looking at your work on the go. Maybe they're going for coffee or something, and they're like, let me just check some of these people's portfolio. And then if it's not mobile friendly, it just takes you out automatically. Again, for 8 years. Now, recruiters, which is the first human screening. Most recruiters, sorry, look out for portfolio clarity. Can they quickly tell what you do? If somebody is looking at your portfolio and they're not sure if you're strictly a UI designer, maybe you don't have case studies. Now they're looking for product designers and you don't have a case study to show your process. You just have UI designs of things that you've done, then you're obviously not qualified for that job. So your portfolio needs to be clear to people. Can they quickly tell what you do? Then your relevance to the role. How relevant are you to the job description? If they are looking for a product designer that understands how to how to design for AI and design with AI, and then you don't have anything of that sort on your portfolio, then what's the point? They will just kick you out of there. And then navigation and structure. If they get lost, again, somebody might just be, they're just maybe talking to somebody and they're just scanning through your portfolio. And if they get lost, they just move on. Because remember that ideally, they might have a lot of portfolios to look out for at that point. Please, can you guys still hear me? Can you still see my screen? I just want to ensure.
Yes, yes, so good.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go to the hiring managers. Again, I just try to break this down into like step by step process. Ideally, if it's established companies, big companies, it starts with 8 years and then it now gets to the recruiter and then the hiring manager. So the hiring manager is basically tech savvy. The recruiter in this case may or may not be tech savvy. A lot of them are not tech savvy actually. They're just recruiting for the company. But the hiring manager in most cases is tech savvy. So they are looking for end-to-end design thinking, not just final visuals. They're also looking for a problem solving approach. How did you come about your decisions? Even okay, so let's say you've scaled through the portfolio review. They have whiteboarding sessions and all of those sessions as well. They want to know how you make certain decisions. So it's not just that they will just give you a design task or something and boom boom, you just go and go to Figma and go and start designing. No, you need to have like a process how you actually remember as a product designer, you're trying to solve a problem. That's how I call myself. I basically call myself a problem solver. So you're trying to solve a problem. Then real trade-offs and constraints. Those are some of the things that you're looking for as well. Okay, so the next team is the design team, and these are people that you will most likely be designing with, right? Or even if there's no design team, there might be a senior product designer there, or there might be a design manager or chief product officer or something that is basically overseeing the design team, or again, can be your fellow designers. So because they are the ones that will work with you on a day-to-day basis, so they want to understand how well you document and explain your design process. If it aligns with what they do, as obviously, if you're outside the company, you might not know that, but they want to know that. Do you get? If you have an inkling of if they can work with you, basically. The second one is your ability to collaborate and iterate on feedback. If let's say on your portfolio you don't have any, especially as a product designer, right? You don't have any case study where I'm going to talk about like things that have on your case study, but you don't have any case study where you've spoken about like some people that you worked with. Oh, I worked with two engineers, I worked with this. They might not be able to understand if you can collaborate well in a team. And then if your design thinking also aligns with the company's styles and values as well, that's something that they'll look out for. All right, so I have about three golden rules here. So the first one is if the cake looks good, you're going to want to eat it. I like cake. So that's why I have cake here. So if the cake looks good, you're going to want to eat it. So what that means basically is that if your screens or your portfolio looks good, then the recruiter will want to look at your case study. The second one is if the taste is good, you're going to want to know the process and the ingredients. Okay, so now it looks good in the eyes, right? So let me taste it. This cake tastes nice. So what kind of ingredients is this? Did she put eggs or whatever in the cake? So this basically says if the problem and solutions make sense, recruiters will want to know about your process. Now remember that you've attracted them to your portfolio, to a case study, and they've opened it, they've looked at it, and now they want to understand your process. So they are even getting more interested in your work. And then the last one is if the cake looks good but tastes bad, you are you are not going to be there. Sorry, that's a typo. They are not going to be interested in the process. Or let's say you tasting the cake is not going to be interested in the process. So what that means is that if the screen looks good but the problem and solution do not make sense, so you've attracted the recruiter now to your case study, but when they open it, what they are saying there doesn't actually make sense to them, then they're not going to be interested in knowing more about you or your process, basically. All right, so let's go to the third one, tailoring your portfolio for different roles. So for this section, I outlined, I'll just brush through it basically because of our time. I outlined tailoring your portfolio as a product designer, UI designer, strictly UI designer, UX designer, strictly UX, UI UX designer, and then AI designer. So those five ones for today. So the first one, obviously, product designer. Um, they want to see your end-to-end product design thinking process from research to execution. Remember that as a product designer, you are in charge of everything. So from research to the execution to implementation, even after implementation, focus group testing, all of those things, even after it goes live, you still need to be getting feedback from people so that you can make the process better. um then emphasize problem solving, business impact, and collaboration. As a product designer, you're not just a UI designer or UX designer. You're also involved in how that product is going to solve problems, not just for the user, but for the business. As a product designer, you're trying to marry the business and the user because you don't want any of them to fall by the wayside. And then include cross-functional work with PMs, developers, and stakeholders. You will have to work with these people as a product designer, so that should be there as well. Okay, so for a UI designer, obviously showcase strong visual design, typography, and color usage. User interface designer, meaning you make things look beautiful. So definitely things have to look beautiful in your portfolio. Then highlight scalability, accessibility, and interaction design. I feel like that speaks for itself as well. And explain how your UI enhances the overall UX. Obviously, if the house is just fine, but the structure or the foundation is not there, then that house, no matter how beautiful it looks, can fall down by the wayside. Let's use if the jollof or even cake, right? If the jollof looks good, but then you taste it and it doesn't taste good, then it spoils your experience of the product basically. All right, so I'm going to get to UX designer. So emphasize user research. So as a UX designer, user experience designer, emphasize user research, wireframing, and usability testing on your portfolio. Show how you solve problems through design. Include case studies with data backed insights. Now, even this last one is very important for the product designer and the AI designer and the UI UX designer. So this is it's actually quite important as well. All right. So sorry, I'm just trying to rush through. I hope I'm not rushing through too much. I hope you guys are still with me. Okay, so for the UI UX designer, demonstrate both UX thinking and UI execution. Remember, you're a UI UX designer trying to marry the two of them. I hope you guys know that there's a difference between, there's an argument about it, but there's a difference between a product designer and a UI UX designer. But for this time around, for the UI UX designer, and then show the full process, research, wireframes, high fidelity UI, and then include prototyping and user testing insights as well in your portfolio. All right, so the last one for this, an AI design. I'm sorry, I'm very interested in AI and AX, so which is why I have this here. But I know that a lot of designers right now, because a lot of things are AI driven. Imagine, so we saw all the things that GPT-4 can do right now, right? So people are actually getting much more interested in AI. So that's why I have this here. So showcase AI-driven experiences, chatbots, automation, and predictive UX. So showcase if you've worked on AI-driven projects, showcase them, especially if you're applying for AI roles. Focus on human AI interaction. So obviously, a human is going to use this product, but this is built through an AI or for an AI, but for a human being. So focus on that interaction basically, personalization and ethical design, and then explain how AI improves the user experience and decision making. All right. So let's go to the next one, portfolio must-haves. I think I'm just going to try and rush through this, especially because Dami had, spoken about this as well when she was speaking. So a great portfolio must include 2 to 5 case studies, but it's important to know quality over quantity. I think it was sometime about 2 years ago or something. I was going through like a whole like process of case studies and all of that, and I was struggling with it. And I was trying to just seek people who work in like all these Fortune 500 companies who could mentor me. And there was somebody I met who works with Meta. He's a senior product designer at Meta, but he's a Nigerian. And when he shared his case study with me, I mean his portfolio with me rather, I only saw two case studies. I'm like, excuse me, did you actually get this job at Meta with just two case studies? And he was like, yeah, he did. But when he opened the case study, at least just one that I saw, it was very detailed, which is why I put the quality over quantity every time. You don't want to go and fill your portfolio with 1,000 case studies on 1,000 things that you've worked on, but there's no quality in the work. Then clear processes. Define the problem, approach, solutions, and results. This one speaks for itself. Again, a case study is not is like a report, but it has to be well documented. And then impact metrics is also important as well. All right, so easy navigation, mobile friendly. I feel like this one speak for itself. You don't want to frustrate people out of your portfolio or just make them not interested in your portfolio. You don't want to do that because, again, they are looking at 1,000 portfolios plus yours. All right, so do's and don'ts. So these are basically portfolio do's and don'ts. So portfolio do's, we'll start with that. Keep your portfolio simple, structured, and easy to navigate. Don't do too much, please. So I remember a portfolio. I'm not going to open it because, but I remember a portfolio that I and some of my colleagues were looking at the other day. And there was just, in fact, I think my system was hanging by the time I opened the portfolio to look at it. Obviously, this person is a senior designer who does a lot of interactions. But there was just a lot going on. I'm like, Hilele, like, what is going on? What am I looking at? I couldn't find the actual case studies. So I understand that this person was trying to showcase their talent, but it was just a lot. And I had to close it at the end of the day. And again, remember that there are people who might have um, some health issues, um, which if they see all of those things going on, basically, it can trigger them or affect them. So please keep it simple, really. Then show your role in team projects. People want to know that you're a team player as well, so show that. Then tailor it to the organization, and I put in brackets if possible, if you can tailor it to the organization. Say you're applying to a company that uses agile process or waterfall process or whatever. Try to tailor your portfolio. Again, it's not like you're lying or something, but just try to tailor it to it. Then provide clear, concise case studies as well. Okay, so don't over design with excess animations. I feel like I said that earlier. Don't only show final visuals, your process matters. Don't write long jargon filled case studies. Don't bore people with, I know you're a good storyteller, but please. And then don't forget to proofread your case studies as well. Okay, so tips to make your case studies stand out. Let me just run through this. Use strong headlines summarizing the impact of your work. Show the problem clearly with real data, quotes, and insights. Clearly state your role. I feel like all of these things I'm saying here are things I've actually been speaking on for the past about 10 minutes or so. So this is just a wrap, right? So show how your work improved key metrics. Use clean layout, minimal text, and then strong visuals. Don't use pixelated images, please. Like look for things that can mock-ups. There are mock-up sites and plugins and all of that that you can use that will give you strong visuals. Speak about the problem, the process, and the impact in a clear, engaging, and let me add, interesting way. You don't want to bore people out of looking at your portfolio. Summarize key learnings and results as well. Okay, so portfolios, tips to make your portfolio stand out. This is the last bit. Choose your case studies wisely. Tell the story of your case studies. Use visual elements to highlight key parts of your case studies. What is the big picture? Establish the big picture and then add your personality to your portfolio. Dami mentioned that somebody was asking how our portfolio was growing. add more personality. For me, I like dark, almost everything. My phone, my laptop, everything is always dark background. So even my portfolio has a dark background as well, and it's just very simple because I'm naturally a very simple person as well. So yes, thank you very much, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Chidinma. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. Thank you so much. So I don't know if anyone like if you have questions for Chidima and Dami, so you can drop your questions. While we okay, creative is asking that can a portfolio be built on Figma or it has to be a customized site? So before Chidima goes, currently my own portfolio is. I feel like as you advance in your career, the platform you build your portfolio now begins to differ. So sometimes it's advisable for the beginner, most beginners right now they have their portfolio on bands. Mine is currently on Figma, but I'm looking to put it live, maybe use a framer because I'm currently learning framer. So or I paused learning Figma anyways, but I'm trying to use Framer because Framer can actually go live. But Figma as well. Like if I share my portfolio, when you click on it, I share like a link. Then when you click on it, you're able to see, interact with it, right? So you can use Figma, yes, and whatever works for you at this stage, right? Chidima, do you want to add on it? So there's another question that
Okay.
if it can be built on Figma. Should different screens be designed for should it be designed for different screens? That's what the person tries to say, like responsiveness. How would it be presented if there would be need to for the designer or the person? I think I know what this person is talking about. Basically, this person is talking about that if the person is designing on Figma, right, we they have to be responsive then because you know that most people when they view, they get to view on your phone, or probably when someone gets to view on your phone, you get to see it the same way it is on web. So what would you advise? Then is it okay to still the same person? Is it okay to only include screens that address the portfolio in a the problems in a portfolio? For instance, ignoring onboarding screens and focusing on designing a checkout screen.
I
That's
don't
one
understand that
question.
last bit.
The last
The
question.
last, yes, yes,
So this
can you
person
repeat
saying, is
that?
it okay to only include screens that addresses the problem in a portfolio?
Mm,
For
okay.
instance, maybe there's a problem, maybe ignoring onboarding screens and focusing on designing a checkout screen. So the focus is it the focus is on the problem. Like she's asking that is it okay to only include the problem you're trying to solve in a particular project on your portfolio?
Hmm. Okay, so I think I'll just start with, the first questions. Um, Same with me, Fola, honestly. My portfolio is on Figma at the moment. So I had it on, I think it was Carbon, at some point. I had it on UX Folio, I think, at some point, but right now it's on Figma. And then I'm trying to also move it to Framer as well, but at the moment it's on Figma. So yes, you can submit Figma portfolios, even Notion as well. Um, People, I know somebody who got a job with Booking.com with a Notion portfolio. So yes, as long as everything is linked and all of that. So yes. Then to the question about like um the if you should only put screens that solve problems, so I don't think you should restrict it. Obviously you should have the screens that solve the particular problems. So for instance, if you have the the questions you're trying to answer, or the problem you're
Mhm.
trying to solve actually, for that you should have those screens. But if you can also pitch in extra screens that are useful, extra features that amplify the user's experience as well,
Mhm.
why not? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chidima, for that, and
Sorry,
welcome
guys.
back.
Can I chip in on that?
Yes, please.
Mhm.
Hi, guys. Sorry, my network is Nigeria in today. Anyway, uh, so for the question on using screens that just solve the problem, I think one of the things that really has worked for me in the past is exploring screens that I, lack of a better word, introducing the friends we met along the way, right? So before I solved that problems, I had a lot of screens, you know, before said problem, before I found out that this was a problem that needed to be solved. I explored a bunch of screens, right? So that's kind of the outline I like to use, or I like to advise people to do, is all the explorations you had. I know, like it feels like we're contradicting ourselves, saying you should make it brief, you should make it short. But honestly, just one screenshot with like a collage of the friends you met along the way. I keep saying friends we met along the way because that's what I call it in my portfolio. Those are my friends I met along the way that did not work, or they sent it out of it wasn't like, it didn't work for my market, right? So I think it doesn't necessarily mean you should show screens that solve that problem. I think it like presents you as a very multifaceted designer when you start showing explorations. They show like, this one knows their stuff for, let's hire this person, you know. Also, for cases where it's not like an actual project, that's when those kind of things kind of come in, is when you start, showing your brainstorming, showing your, exploration, showing things that you're like, no, please, I'm tired. Let me go move to another one, you know. So I think you should see portfolio as less of a serious thing, more like a journal of of your ideas, everything you had in your head, like a diary, as short as possible, because I know diaries are so long. But yeah, I think that's my input.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dami. We have like two more questions, but before then, I want us to quickly go to the critique. Critique session. So I have like four portfolios, but three are on by ants. Then one is of Figma. So I don't know if we should do one by ants, then one Figma. Then if we have more time, we can now do the two. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I
Okay.
don't know if you can.
So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. So so this is for this person, praise person. So I hope she's online.
Praise.
So this is our portfolio. She's currently a graphic designer and a product designer. So these are like our projects. So maybe we should view more one or what? What do you think? So these are like
Sorry, Fola,
particular
did you ask a
features.
question?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Like these are particular features. The way she structured them, like it's just. But this is a page, our work. For instance, this is just. So I feel like this is more of UI, because I'm not seeing
Yeah.
any.
Yeah,
I think this is more of
UX is
UI.
more
So what
like
will you
case
advise
study.
this person that is
I
trying to
think
get
it's.
more?
Oh, sorry, Chidinma. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, no, no problem. So I think personally, it just shows that because I was going to ask, is this person a product designer, a graphic designer? But it
He's a
shows that this
proper
person is
designer
more
as
of a
well.
UI designer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like we can't see that you're a product designer. Do you get what I mean? So like we can't
Yeah.
see your process, your case studies and all that. And I feel like we both like myself and Dami spoke about that as well.
Yeah.
So we can't see your process. So for instance, if you send it, if you're looking for a job and you send this, because we're just seeing UI, we might
Mm-hmm.
just think that you are strictly just a UI designer. Yeah.
Mm.
But Dami, please
Yeah.
go on.
So for me, right, first things first, hi Praise, I'm sorry. I saw like graphic designer, product designer. So when people tag themselves that way, I feel like I would prioritize the first one other than the second one. So to me, I think you're a graphic designer, right? That's because I just saw that. Also, I think praise needs to kind of go back to the drawing book. And I don't mean this in the wrong way because I did the same thing very recently, actually. And it was trying to establish the fact that am I actually a product designer or am I a UX designer? When you go and do the research, you understand like, okay, the product designer is thinking about the market, thinking about the company. A UX designer is mostly thinking about the users. I don't know, it might be controversial, but I think that would reflect on your portfolio when you establish the meaning of those things. So I would say Grace should go back to the drawing board, kind of find out what she likes or what they like. I hope she's a babe. I'm sorry. They like. If you like UI more than UX, if you don't want to have headache every night, correct? I have a ringing headache that's been pending since Thursday. If you don't want that headache carrying on to your weekend, maybe you're a UI designer. So I would say Trey should go back to the books, try and find out what she wants to do, graphic or product or UI or UX. Then when you find that out, it will be very easy to show that in your work, right? I feel like it's so easy for us to say, oh, I don't see the thinking behind this. But I feel like Praise doesn't know yet what she wants to do. And yeah, once you establish that, it will be so easy to see it in your work. And yeah, I feel like that's my feedback. Sorry, guys, I was just looking up to the edge, but yeah, I feel like that's my feedback.
Okay, thank you. So I also feel like you guys have said that maybe she was first a graphic designer and now she's like transitioning into product design or moving into product design. Then
Transition.
more of our work is now still showing the UI. So I hope that Praise is able to take all this correction and actually work on an actual flow on your problem solving skill. What exactly do you want to do? Do you want to do the UI part or the UX part? So thank you so much, Jamie and Chidinma, for that. So let's go to second person. So can you see my screen? And I just want to say
Yes, we have
hope
we have
because
a lot of P's. We had praise, we had precious. I'm like,
Precious.
wow.
so I just want to say that so maybe some people maybe they will watch and get to say how are these people posting their portfolios? These people actually volunteered to they posted the link by themselves because we asked and they did by themselves. So it's not like we're trying to and all that. But you just that's like the benefit of this call. One of the benefits of this call is to actually help you to build a better portfolio for those that have and those that don't have, help you to get started in it and build something that you can actually share and also get a job. So if you are watching this or you are one of those people who are critiquing their portfolio, please take it with a good faith. One of the things I used to tell my mentees is feedback you just need to take feedback with good aid. It doesn't stop you from asking questions, right? But you need to know how to take feedback and take what you need to do and move on. Because sometimes people are not like good and they get offended. I used to be like that when I started my career. Like anything, but if you just tell me my design, maybe tell me I don't like this color, I'll be very angry or I'll try to like defend you. No, what is this? But now, yeah,
Same.
I take feedback, so all that. So
Yeah,
please,
I feel like so there's one thing I tell my mentees as well. Oh my god, we're such mentors. Ugh. Anyway, there's one thing there's one thing I tell my mentees is get to a point in your career, grow in your career to a point where you can fight everybody. Right. Right now, I feel like my employers will watch this because I'm about to share this link on my stand up rather. Like get to a point in your career when if my employer tells me, Dami, this is too clean, I will fight it. And they will answer me. So get to a point in your career where like, yeah, I'm ready to fight. You know, it takes a
Yeah,
lot of work to get to that point.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So don't worry. For now, just accept the feedback. Just
feedback.
do I will do my own back. I will do my own back.
Oh my god.
You will do your own back, don't worry.
Okay. All right. So this is precious. Like this is like our own page. This is what I get to see. Like this is all.
Sorry, is this a portfolio? Okay, it's her
Yes,
portfolio.
the
Okay.
portfolio. She has like some projects there. So this is
Hmm.
about.
I think it's so rare to find a combination of copywriters and product
Yeah.
designers. And I think Precious has a very key skill that will make us stand out. Like that's very unique.
Yeah.
Um, I'm almost not even looking at the portfolio. I just caught the copywriter. I was like, yay,
On the
in this
writing, yeah.
economy, you know.
So this is like a project.
Yeah.
Is this a project? Sorry.
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
No,
project.
it's like a
Called
show reel, I
Oh,
think.
there's like a
Oh,
learn
okay.
more
Yeah.
project. There's like a learn more. Oh, she has like, oh wow, like six. So let me
Oh,
click on one.
nice.
Nice.
Wait, wait. Did I even I want to read to read.
I will
Maybe
say
she's a
one
beginner or something.
project.
She didn't write it. She, I don't know. And she doesn't need to. Okay, so let me click on one. This one.
Yeah.
So about the product, it's a food delivery app dedicated to crafting. Let's find your craving for homemade like local dishes. Chidima, I don't know if this thing is giving you if you are trying if you remember this project.
Sorry?
Do you remember this project?
Yes, yes, yes. I remember. Yes. Yes. That's
Please, what
So
am I
one.
remembering? Please put me into this inside
no.
inside
Okay, so let me
discussion.
the inside gist was that we had like a boot camp last year. So Chidima was part of our judges.
Boot
So I was
camp.
like
Oh,
so
Chidinma, please help my life. Oh.
Ah, see, we're going to talk. Damn
so I think
it.
that I think that Dami, I said Dami. Oh my god, Dami has entered my mouth. Precious actually has
Precious.
Period.
talked about the product, the problem, how to.
Yeah.
I feel that she's a beginner. Like she just did the boot camp last year. That was last year. I
Okay.
think it
Okay.
was
Okay.
December or
Okay.
so. So this is what she has. So
So
what
is
we
this
Okay.
a
start
case study?
with.
I
Okay,
think
this is a case
so.
This
study.
is all
Okay.
that she has on the case study.
But there's a learn more.
Yeah, the learn more
Learn
is
more button.
the Figma file.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Shows all
Okay.
wow. Like actually shows.
Oh. Ah, Precious, you're in. Oh, you're doing the thing. You're really doing the thing. Okay, so I think this is where my controversial opinion comes in. I know Chidinma, when I first joined back, Chidinma was talking about it doesn't matter what platform, whatever. My problem with Figma portfolio is you're not as creative and as explorative as you should be if you call yourself a product designer, right? You can get away with this if you're a UI or UX designer, but when you start talking about products, when you start thinking about other screens, other screen sizes, resolutions, whatever, it gets very tricky, right? And maybe because I'm a designer that keeps interviewing designers, maybe that's my problem. But for me, I think the first view I was like, hmm, maybe the font is too big. And I realized there was a Figma prototype, or Figma portfolio rather. So I mean that's where it comes in. Also, I saw like the about section and the homepage, like that was the first thing. Of course, like for me, maybe it's just the way I read stuff,
So
right?
Fola, can you
I
click
just
on
caught
next
like
home?
precious.
Click on the
Yeah, I
home
think that's
page.
what she is.
This is about
That's what she is. Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, product design copywriter. Okay,
Is
let's
this
see
the
the
home page?
project. Yes, it is.
Oh, this is the home page. I thought this was the
yes
about. Okay.
about it and the homepage.
So yeah, that's exactly my first concern, right? So I would have said pressure should like summarize this thing and move it to the or move this entire paragraph to the about section, increase the picture so we can see the picture very well, and just leave like a paragraph or no, actually a line on the homepage, right? And I would say pressure should explore Notion. Notion gives a certain level of customization. I think that will really help us to understand maybe a prototype in the project, maybe lesser projects, because currently it looks like she has six or seven. Yeah, maybe two or three is fine. Maybe some web screens as well.
Yeah, I think she has
Again, press.
Okay.
she has
I
like
just
three projects.
saw. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. I think two or three, right? It's not about the number of projects you have on your portfolio. It's how. So, Precious, please think about the ones you like the most. Sorry, love. What did you say? My F? Okay, no,
No,
it's
go
not
ahead.
yet. Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
I'll say Precious should think about what she likes the most. So if it's the e-commerce, all the projects you think like, oh, I gave my all, I was hungry, I ate that. Pick those projects. It will be like four or five or three. So then go back to Figma and refine them, right? Personally, I don't like mock-ups that tilt into the side and very aesthetic. I like straight up screens. It's easy to scan. Very, very easy to scan because now I'm saying this, I'm like, okay, do I come in? you know. So those are things I would say you should consider. So move the paragraph in your homepage to the about section. Your homepage, remove your picture from the homepage. Sadly, as again, I'm about to say something controversial. Sorry, guys, but sadly, as women, especially as Black women, and I noticed that with like very recent interviews I had before my current job, is I got less callbacks from foreign companies with my picture on the homepage, right? So I would move it to my about. I'll make my about more like a hobby page, put my gym pictures, my tennis pictures there. But it's about me. This is me, right? Then my homepage, I just put one paragraph. This is what I do. This is what I do. Then put my projects. So I think that's what Precious should consider. Summarize that and put your projects on the homepage instead of allowing us click to like projects or work. I don't know what it's called. I think it's project or work, one of those. Move it to the homepage, remove that project entirely, then tilt your mockups. And I think you should be good to go. I think you have very interesting projects, but it's just laying them out and picking the best.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also trying
I think
to.
what I'll just say in
Okay, no,
addition to that is, sorry, Fola, are you saying something?
no, no, continue, please.
Okay. So I think what I'll just say in addition to everything Dami has said is that Precious, so I can see that you're a copywriter from your portfolio. Like it's just a lot of words. So on your homepage, right? What people are more interested in, the reason people came to your portfolio is because they want to see your work. So I mean about you, they want to know about you. Some might want to know about you, some might not want to know about you, but let people see your work on your homepage. So you can put like a brief intro. I'm a user one thing product designer, and then the next thing is your products. Then just as she said, let's have a bit of interaction as well on it. So um you can check out, if you check, I think Mobin as well, and some other sites, even this folio.design. So you can check out folio.design. There's also co-folios. So co-folios as well is for like new designers, new product designers, or product designers who are still in school and all of that. You see how they just simply outline their designs. So you can have that as well laid out. And please, like when I saw like the web one, and then I was tilting my head and all of that. I understand the need to want to put like all these styles and all of that, but it's not exactly necessary to do that. Then, Fola, please can you scroll to the nav bar?
Okay.
No, like the nav bar of the. Oh, so she has like a link, and then okay, so I think I'll just speak on that as well. Like when you give
Mm-hmm.
somebody your portfolio link, let them just come to your portfolio. Let them not have to click multiple times. Again, remember that people are reviewing a lot of portfolios. They might just be wondering what's happening here and just close it. So you have home, about, projects, me, contact me. So it looks like you're focusing on the about, like about you first before the project. So your home is here, which is like about you. Then about you is about you, and then projects. But the reason why they came is because of the project. And then the last thing I'll speak about is on your project. When we clicked on it, we're just seeing images. If you're a product designer, people want to see your process. How did you come about this image? The home screen, what if you worked in a team? I'm sure this was like the teamwork that was done. How did you guys come about this particular design? People want to see that. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think that um, okay, I wanted to talk about something, but anyway, that's fine. So I hope that Precious has taken one of his hints from what Dami and Chidima has said. Please go back and work on it. So I want to quickly answer a question while we move to the next.
Sorry, guys. I was making a video for my
Yes, fine.
my
So I want
employers.
to the next. There's a question that is on the chat that I wanted to answer, and the person was asking that a is there a way to use a template for building your portfolio as a product designer? I just wanted to mention few. There are no code tools. No code. There's Framer. If you know how to use Framer, there's Webflow. There's Squarespace. There's Wix.
Mm.
There's
Funny enough, I
yeah.
have a recording of a Framer tutorial for portfolios. I just need to find it. It's about 2 days. I had like this Framer crash course on how to move your portfolio from Figma to Framer and make it responsive. It's nothing too complex. There's no complex animation, but if I can find it, I'll definitely share with you, Fola, so you can share with your community. It will be like a Fola exclusive link because I'm not supposed to share it. So please subscribe to Fola's channel, turn on your notifications, join the community, be active. Fola will give you the link.
All right. Thank you. Then I think Chidima mentioned carbon needs. Then there's UX folio. So you can try out those things if you don't want to build your portfolio from scratch. Some people they have the opportunity, maybe they have developers friend. I can maybe reach out to one of my developer friends to just I'll give them my Figma file and they will help me like code it out and all that. So but you can try out no code two options really. So I hope that person got answer to their question. So let's just take one more. I don't know if we can go. We have like two more, but this is like one. So this is one. So I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? So this is on Binance as well. Is it Binance or Binance?
Behance.
Yeah.
Binance, God, jeez. Is that many years
I
ago?
don't even know, my dear. I don't even know.
So I think okay, let's check out this person. So
I
this person is
started
saying
with
she's a
Behance,
product
Triple. I
designer.
had all of them.
I don't know. This person said she's product. I don't know if this one says she's into product design, but I don't know. Product design. Is either you're a product designer or you're a UI designer or you're a
UX design,
UI designer or UX designer. Please choose one.
UX designer.
Thank you. Okay, let me click on this. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope it's not my network. It's not my network. Jesus, please. Okay. Oh wow. Signature. Ah,
Mm.
wow. I feel like I don't think this person is a beginner.
Not a wow.
But that's my thought. I don't think this person is a beginner really. I feel this person should have something built out on Framer or any no code tool or whatever. Because this is like I'm still scrolling now.
Behance is very restrictive, Abby.
So
I think what
wow.
I don't like about Behance is just the fact that your competition is just right there. Can
Mm-hmm.
just be like on the like just below your case study and all of that. So they can be looking at your case study and then the next thing they see somebody else who does similar thing and they can just jump to
And
that
somebody
person. So
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what this person. Oh, so do you have any feedback for this person?
Okay, so I think my
This
feedback
person
would
is a
be,
beginner. This person is
yeah,
a
this person's
beginner.
not a
And
beginner, definitely. So I think my feedback would be, honestly, like I like how you arrange your mock-up at the hero section, beautifully done. But once we scrolled through after your like timeline and all of that, the next thing that I saw was computer analysis. But there was no like introduction of the project, like an overview, or like what the problem was that you're trying to solve and all of that. So we just jumped to this. So there should be like a step by step process. Do you understand? So um you should at least, if you're telling a story, for instance, somebody left their house and went to the market, you will not just wake up and say, oh, Fola found herself at the market. No, Fola left somewhere and then got to the market. You get? So yeah, so I think that's what I would say. But I think you know how to. Well, Aida, can you scroll to like the beginning part, please?
Chima, I'm getting feedback that you're not audible. We can't hear you well.
Oh, really? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, that's how she talks.
Oh, oh, so sorry. Okay. That means everything I said, did you hear? Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
can you
heard
hear
you.
me?
I heard you.
Okay, 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 okay.
But
Okay.
yes, I can.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's it basically. Maybe Dami can just add, give us some words of wisdom.
But yeah, I think you covered it, right? Hey, babes, please. But yeah, I think you already covered it. I think at first I don't know if that was the intro. It was so easy to skip because it was so lengthy. That might have been the intro, right? So I think the person should work on having like more concise paragraphs. I think that would make it easier to skim through. Again, we said like recruiters have 10 seconds, which is so sad. Um, yeah, they have just 10 seconds, which is also to go through your portfolio, right? So I would say making your paragraphs concise. You seem like you know what you're doing. So I'm not going to say this one is wrong, this one's right, but just helping to communicate that, oh, I really know what I'm doing would really help on your journey. I would say also you should explore moving your portfolio from Behance, kind of what Chidinma said, right? So having the next suggested project being somebody significantly better than you will suck. And that might not be your view. It might be the recruiter's view, it might be somebody else's view. And also in the industry, I know most people don't really like Behance. So I would say just explore so or Notion, anything, right? Moving it away from Behance would be like a good challenge because I think you already have the basics on lock. It's just exploring other options to show what you have. But yeah, I think it's fantastic. I don't think I've ever done an information architecture. I'm so glad I never have to do that. It's so complex. But yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I think that's like pretty much it because it looks like there's a duplicate from what I'm seeing here. I'm not sure there's any other one. Please let me just confirm. Confirm this. Okay, I think I got one. So while I'm looking for that, there's a question. Person says that if I am a graphics designer and a product designer, do I necessarily need to create two different portfolios?
Okay, so if you're a graphic designer and a product designer, I feel like, so understand that is design industry and all, but understand that graphic designers and product designers have different processes. So, for instance, a graphic designer can use serif fonts loudly, like on their graphics, because they want to make it, and then the colors you use and all of that. But product designers go a more subtle route and use sans serif fonts, and they want it to be legible, and they're looking at contrast and all of that. So, I think you should. I mean, in Nigeria, you want to make money any way you can, right? So, first of all, I would advise maybe you should try to find one career path you want to follow. But if you still want to go the two ways because you still want to make money from two ways, then yes, you should have different portfolios, because you can't be applying for a product design role and then be showing that you're showing graphic design work to people. Maybe when you get into the company, you can say, "Oh, I can also do graphic design or something," if that's needed. But yes, you should have different portfolios. Yeah.
So that means, do you have any addition to that before we
I think she
proceed?
already answered it all. My boss already, summarized
Eh,
it
who's that?
very well. I think one of the things I tried to do and did not work was compiling all my portfolios. So kind of when I have my first mentorship sessions with anybody, I show where I'm coming from, right? I'm so thankful for technology and being able to access old stuff, right? So I show my portfolio right from where I started from. So usually I show my very, very first portfolio, and you can see I had illustration, I had motion design, I had data. And it just turned out the jobs I was getting was most streamlined what I wanted to do. I knew this was the path I wanted to take. And that started reflecting in my portfolio. Um, it was easier for me to get callbacks or get jobs, right? So I think that's what you should do. Establish that once you find your passion and find what you want to do, you can separate both. Or you can have a tab because I know it might be a hassle to create two different portfolios. Put a tab, product design, whatever, make it a toggle. When they toggle, give them a different experience. That kind of shows your design thinking as well. That might just be me yapping, but yeah. But I would advise you to pick a path. Once you pick a path, do different portfolios, for different applications. If you're applying for a graphic design job, go for that. If you're applying for product design, go for the other portfolio you design. But I think it starts with defining what you want to do, then it should be easier moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Dami, for that. So quickly, because of our time, so this is like the last person. Then we can review. Then you guys would like give your
Selima.
final, not final words, like final words, like for this session, just like something they can
No final words.
use there, not final words, so just to be clear, but just something
So,
that it can echo in people's
yeah,
minds that, oh, Dami said this, and just like
yeah,
give the steps that they were able to take on. Yeah, you've said a lot,
yeah.
like they didn't blame you, but something that they will always, to always keep the back, like their mind that, oh, Dami said this, Chima said this. So let's quickly review this person. Okay, so this is, I don't know. So this person, I think that why this thing is showing as UI/UX, web designer is like services or some. That's what I want to assume, anyways. But I don't think that you can either be a UI, or I don't know how it works since I don't use Behance. I don't
Because
use
I'm
it, so I
wondering,
don't know.
UI web designer, product designer.
You said what?
The UI
No, no, I said
designs
I
the web and
don't know.
mobile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like why like UI, then web
Then
designer, and
web
then product
designer,
designer.
then product designer. Like
The
literally
product
everything
designer
is
does
embedded
everything.
in a product. Anyways,
Yeah.
so let's just. I hope this person too is watching. So this is the person's project. There's no like type. Anyway, you guys would, yeah. So this is like the product. There's like a video to watch,
Mm,
design itself. I'm not sure there's that. I
yeah,
think that's all. It's more of the design.
yeah. I think if Selimat maybe wants to rewatch this video, we've kind of covered I think anything I mean not speaking for you, Chidinma, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we've already covered what could be the possible solution. But I would phrase it as like the last word, as Fola said. So first things first. Again, thinking with the idea that somebody has 10 seconds or you have 5 seconds to impress somebody. Fola, can you go back to the previous screen?
Okay.
So I don't want to dive into the case study. Let's talk about the first screen. Okay, so thinking about the idea that somebody has 10 seconds, you want to impress them with your Behance portfolio in 10 seconds. One of the first things you want to take attention to would be your header, would be the mockups you choose to use. So again, like I said before, I mean, it could be a personal thing, but I really don't like when mockups turn to the side because it doesn't encourage me to click on it. So thinking about things like that, you would think about the mock-ups, the way your presentation is. I'm a recruiter, I'm coming to your page, I can see that. And also for GDPR reasons, I don't think you need your phone number. That might not be a good goal. I just clocked. It might not be a good thing to have your phone number in public like that. Please think about your safety as well. So yeah, your mockups should face the front, right? You're a recruiter. I'm looking at the portfolio. I can't really see the UI that will make me want to click into it. So that would be my last words, right? You have 5 seconds to impress somebody. Pick it and ride with it. Straight up mockups. Put in your context. Put in your design thinking. Everything you were thinking about making this thing work. And I think you should be good to go. I think those are things you need to consider. I think
Thank you,
that's my last words.
Dami. Thank you.
Okay, so
Chidima, do you have
I
anything
think
to say
for
for me?
me, yeah, I think for me it's quite similar to what Dami has said actually. So, but maybe I'll phrase it as what I even captured as golden rule, right? I like food. Don't mind me. So if the